We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, you start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
This program explains some possible explanations, but not all possible explanations are discussed. The purpose is to give all facts about the events shown and allow the viewer to make their own decisions based on the evidence presented and to make their conclusions.
In 1973, a 6-year-old boy in Atlanta, Georgia experienced an encounter with an alien race that to this day is still relatively unknown by the scientific community. Many known encounters, like the abduction of Betty and Barney Hill, have been widely publicized since it took place in 1961. Other abductions have gained national attention through different news programs since the late 1970s. One such story was Travis Walton, who was abducted by aliens in upstate Washington in 1975. Now, hearing about abductions are mostly heard of from social media outlets and other news sources. This story is truly unique, for the boy saw aliens on 2 different dates in the same house within 1 year of their contacts. Times may make memories fade, but this experience still lingers in witness's heart and will never go away. Every moment was still as vivid today as was the moment he saw this creature in his room one night during the summer of 1973. As he described, the alien was in the room, which was dark, and the moonlight silhouetted the outline of the creature. The color was grayish with no visible buttons or zippers on the outfit. The light of the moon illuminated the creature's black slanted eyes, pointed head, and full-body torso. During the time of these encounters, the witness was hospitalized for a minor hand operation to remove warts from his hands. At that time there were only surgery using heat treatments to burn off the warts. His hands were bandaged for about 2 weeks and was taking pain medication, which made him feel dizzy and sleepy most times. Seeing the alien at night was a few months before the operation. After returning home, he saw another alien during the day while in bed sleeping. This alien was seen at 2 different moments, once from far away and then up close. The house was built in 1965, shortly before the family moved in. No other family lived there during the events that took place from 1972 to 1979. To this day, the current residents refuse to discuss anything about the happenings. In 1998, 25 years after the encounters, the witness came by and took this 110 shot of the house from the street. In the top right window, there is as figure of the same outline as this alien and ghost that was seen in the house some 40 years ago. Do you consider this a coincidence? Not on your life. Subsequently, the story was published in various magazines and periodicals over a few months. Then, the story was made into a best-selling novel entitled Little Boy Lost. It was written by Jay Anson, who also is known for his novel, The Amityville Horror. According to Anson's prologue, the book was so well received by the public that Steven Spielberg was inspired to use Cary Guffey in his 1977 science fiction classic, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. There are very few indirect references to his experience other than that Barry Gilder was abducted by the aliens that he was in contact with. Other than that, there was nothing else similar to his experience. Many producers approached the family to adapt the story and novel to a teleplay for film, but initially it was a difficult decision which studio to choose to retell this most unexplainable story. Eventually they chose the same studio that Spielberg was doing Close Encounters with, Columbia Pictures. Meanwhile, every child magazine and science fiction publication in the United States exploited the story on every front-page edition.
peculiar thing about this.
You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
this to every story that breaks.
We've got breaking news, and it's good news.
And touches your heart.
How do you even say thank you? Thank you is not big enough.
I made this.
The images shocked the world. Relentless bombings. Stunned survivors.
I'm basically